Hello, welcome back. My name's Tim, and I'm going to tell you today what I'm planning to read in November. Uh, Planning being the word, because it may not happen. Sometimes I read extra things, sometimes I don't read what I was originally planning to, and that's okay. As long as I'm reading books, I'm happy. So, first thing on the list, it's a book that I'm currently reading, Hocus Pocus, and the all-new sequel by A.W. Janther. So I picked this up just before Halloween. I'm about 150 pages in. This is a surprisingly chunky book. It's like 500 pages. Um, the first 200 or so are the original film, like a telenovelization basically, and then after that, I'm going into the new section, which is a new story, completely separate from Hocus Pocus 2. So I'm looking forward to reading that because everyone likes Hocus Pocus. One thing I am noticing at the moment, though, is that probably my favourite thing about the original film that isn't necessarily coming across in the book is just how much fun Bette Midler is having. You can't get that across in purely a word form. Next thing I want to read is Dungeon Academy Tourney of Terror. This is by Madeline Rue and illustrated by Tim Probert. My wife bought me this, £2 from the works. This is the second book, and it's about D&D monsters who are at a school learning how to be D&D monsters. So you've got a woman, a girl, human girl who was adopted by minotaurs. You've got a kobold who wants to be a dragon. You've got a mimic that can only turn into useless items. And you've got an owl bear that is a vegetarian. Oh, and they've got a blink dog as well, because blink dogs are adorable. The first book I really loved. I read it early this year, and it's full of lovely drawings as well as some wonderful text. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. And it's a bit of a shorter book. It's quite nice. Next thing is... So This Is Love, A Twisted Tale. What if Cinderella never tried on the glass slipper? This is written by Elizabeth Lim. This is part of the Twisted Tale series. This is book number, I don't know. I honestly don't know. 9, I want to say. There's a whole load of them. And my wife got this as a gift from a Facebook group or an Instagram group where everyone gifts each other presents, which I think is really sweet. And because and she hasn't read it yet, so I'm going to read it. So I'm looking forward to that, especially because my daughter, we went to Disneyland. My daughter went as Cinderella, and she met the Ugly Stepsisters, and they were brilliant. They were so funny. So next is a book that I've wanted to read for a while and never got round to it. Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline. This is the sequel to Ready Player 1. I loved Ready Player 1. This has got very mixed reviews. So I have been a little bit put off, but I'm going to try and put that to the side. Oh, it's 366 pages. Not too long, but it's quite a big book. Like, it's quite tall. It's like as big as my head. That's a unit of measurement for things. How big is that? It's about as big as my head. But yeah, so I'm interested in looking forward to this because the first book I really, really liked. But it's also something that I'm kind of not really hastening to defend. So if someone's like, I don't like Ready Player One, I'm like, cool, that's fine. I just really liked it. People are like, oh, it's just a list of everything that you remember, and I'm like, yeah, it is, and I like that. And then another book I've got is Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman. This is, first of all, this is a beautiful edition. Lovely purple edges. This also includes a story at the end, like a short story that she wrote for, I think it was for charity. Oh, and it's got a preview of the next book. Ooh. So, Noughts and Crosses is a book series that completely missed me growing up. Yeah, so I wrote a book called An Eye for an Eye for a World Book Day Special Edition in like 2003. So, I watched the TV series of this when it first... I watched both series. The first series I thought was brilliant. The second series I was like, I don't really know what's going on. This is a book series that completely passed me by growing up, and now I think it's something that I really should read. Oh, there's like there's 5 of them. I thought there was only 3. Uh, Look at the different editions though. Look at those. They look gorgeous. Look at that. But yeah, this is all about Sephi and Jude, who it's like Romeo and Juliet, but in a swapped racist world. So the noughts are white and the crosses are black, and it's about colonialism and love and how um, people live in different worlds. And I'm really interested in reading it. I love the TV show, especially the first series, so which I think is based off this. So I'm interested to see what happens. Um, then, in terms of books that I won't be reading, physical books, one of them is the Next in the Dark is Rising series. It's called The Grey King by Susan Cooper. This is book 4. Um, I have no idea what's happening. I thought Greenwich was really good, so I'm going to read this and then try and finish the last book by the end of the year. That's my aim. It's the Grey King's very short. It's only 165 pages or something like that, so I should be able to flick through that on my phone on the Open Archive quite easily if I find a version that I can read. And then in terms of audiobooks, I've got 2 more books left in the Chronicles of Narnia series. I've got The Magician's Nephew, which is both the 6th and the first book, confusing, and The Last Battle. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to finding out which Shakespearean actor will be the narrator. That's one of the joys. And listening to it as I drive to work and do the washing up and do all the other stuff that people do while listening to audiobooks. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I've got a list here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 books I want to read. This one's a bit of a carryover, but that should be fine. 8 books in a month, which would be a lot. So, and some of these are pretty big. So I've got a mix of big ones and small ones. So some as big as your head. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Anyway, my brain is obviously firing in random directions, but let me know what books you plan on reading below. Please subscribe. I do appreciate it. Leave a comment. I will reply. I'd love if we just get more subscribers and more people watching this. I'd really appreciate it. So, thank you for staying to the end. And get out of my house!